You are about to enter a space of ultimate football knowledge. From four guys with little to no actual football experience, except for armchair quarterbacking. Brace yourself for passion and knowledge like you have never seen. Welcome to the Football is King podcast. All right. Hello, and welcome into another episode of the Football is King podcast. We're so glad to have you here. We are back to our regular scheduled programming today. This is the first of two episodes that you can catch from us this week because we finally have a full slate of football to talk about. We got college football on this episode / a little bit of some sports gambling goodies, which we're sharps if you haven't figured that out yet, as we will discuss later. But also, we will have our NFL episode coming out tomorrow from all things week 1 in the NFL. And it was a doozy. If you did not pay attention to it, Sunday might have been the wildest morning to ever happen. And the games lived up to the hype as well. But that is not why we are here today. We are here today to talk about some good old classic America on this lovely debate night, college football. We thank you all for we're gonna try our best to not be distracted by the debate tonight, but we make little to no promises. As you can see,
Trump did say he thought about sending Kamala "Make America Great Again" hat.
Okay, we gotta at least say her name right. Gotta say her name right.
Comrade Kamala.
You gotta say her name right.
Comrade Kamala.
Point of personal privilege. I'm gonna start this off with a bang.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna take a lot of people off. I am totally against ever having a woman president. But if we are gonna vote a woman president, is there not a better candidate than Hillary Clinton first off? And Kamala Harris. Can we not throw?
Still didn't get it right, but we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
Comrade Kamala.
All right.
Well, NFL, sports.
Yeah, I was like, based off of the people that listen to the podcast, you probably didn't tick that many people off. But
No.
But way to
Liberals,
anyone that was new already clicked off, so appreciate it. But
the only liberal listening is a Caleb Williams fan for the painted fingernails and the pussy that he plays.
Oh, well, here we go.
Whoa.
we started that. All right, hey,
Well,
that's tomorrow's episode. Today, the title of today's episode is "It's a 3-horse race." The college football season is already over. One of 3 teams will win. Like, there's no point in even playing any of the other games. So we're going to talk about those 3 teams the most today, and then we do our usual business. So I'll let dealer's choice, gentlemen. Would you rather talk about Texas, Georgia, or Ohio State first?
any of them. Come on. 2 of them don't. Well, actually, one of them doesn't garner much conversation, which would be Ohio State.
Oh, they haven't given up a touchdown yet, man. They got a defense finally.
They won't play anyone for the next 8 weeks.
That is true, but the fact they do have a defense. So let's start with Ohio State. They are definitely.
I really think it's a 2-horse race. So
it's hard to not put Ohio State in there.
It's only been 2 weeks too. Ohio State.
It's been 2 weeks, and going into the season, everyone was like, Ohio State has like the most talented roster, but their biggest problem is Ryan Day as their head coach, and he's the ultimate of buffoons.
Agreed.
But I mean, they've got the talent to compete with both of these teams. I do think that they are horse number 3 in the race.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, if like they won the national championship, I wouldn't be shocked.
No, and they actually have a defense which is abnormal. But
yeah, their defense is stacked.
It's like college football is so tough. You watch NFL week 1, right? And you actually learn something about teams. Like we know the Panthers are absolutely horrible.
You learn which teams participate in preseason. More on that later.
Yeah.
But then in college, it's so hard because Ohio State will not play anyone for the first 8 weeks of the season.
That is true.
Facts.
Agree.
They legit play nobody.
Where does Ohio State? This is the one thing I'll give Ohio State. And Texas is starting to get into this territory. Where do they get these receivers? I mean, every year
they buy them.
But where do they get? Like, who wouldn't you rather go to Texas or Florida and catch footballs than Ohio?
No, because Ohio State is proven to get
You're going to
wide receivers into the first round. Not only in the NFL, you will be a first-round draft pick.
Shane, it was the same with Alabama. Remember, they literally had their receiver room was absolutely insane for like 4
Yeah. So I mean, it's just I guess some of these high schoolers coming out think that Ryan Day is a head coach or a good head coach and will like make them progress. But then the other side of it, a lot of these players from Ohio State, when they actually make it to the NFL, are kind of terrible.
I think Ohio State's the one team in this group where it's like we still don't know what they are. We won't know.
I agree with that, but I think it would be insulting to them and incorrect to not be like they have the potential.
Agreed. I thought actually when I was watching the games this weekend, I was like, it's definitely Georgia, Ohio State, Texas. The question is, we've seen Clemson play Georgia, or Georgia play Clemson. They killed them. We've seen Texas play Michigan. Now I think Michigan is absolutely horrible, but
Michigan will not be a ranked team by the end of the season.
No, we've seen it happen. Ohio State is going to play Western Kentucky. They're going to play Akron. They're going to play, Little Sister of the Poor. They'll probably play the Ann Arbor YMCA here next week. And they're going to continue to do that every single year until somebody finally punishes them for it.
Well, it's just that the Big Ten, I mean, they're going to have to, the back half of their schedule, they're going to have to play a couple good teams at theoretically good teams like Oregon, but Oregon's really not that great.
Oregon's not that. Everyone was talking about that was going to be like the game of the century.
Penn State is never good. They get ranked high at the beginning of the year, and then they
were duking it out with Bowling Green for 3.5 quarters.
Honestly, their toughest game might be Nebraska.
I would agree with that. I thought the same exact thing.
Nebraska's going to be a good program. Matt Rule's a great college coach.
Yeah, he's good.
They got mini Patrick Mahomes, which is a bit creepy, but whatever.
Take 2 seconds on that. It is a little weird.
It's a little weird, but you know what? I love it.
It's weird.
I love it. Get your name in that spotlight as much as possible because guess what? If he wants to transfer next year, I bet someone will pay a bigger NIL deal for him. Like
I didn't think that much of it until
Texas Tech will pay a lot.
He did the jump. And I was like, nope.
Yeah,
but he cleared the air. 15 is.
He looked very unathletic though when he did it.
The way he walked, the way he I mean, he watches too much.
The arm sleeve, it's everything. He's copying Pat Mahomes. The hair, the goatee, the arm sleeve, the jump, the yelling, the little like.
If it was like, oh, I run down to the end zone and yell, like everyone does that. Like Tom Brady did that for forever or whatever. Yeah. But he had his own unique style with like the fist pump. The fact that he chose to do the exact same number of jumps and do everything the same.
He studied it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now we are a bit on the creepy side, but you know what? You know what they say? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So
I mean, Jason Tatum. He's basically Jason Tatum at this point. I mean, Jason Tatum memorized every viral celebration that's ever happened in the NBA Finals and did it in one night.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say.
Well, yeah, Jason Tatum.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. It's like he wants.
That's why you can't criticize the kid. You're like, oh, you're emulating possibly the greatest quarterback to ever play football. That's probably not a bad person to study.
He should have. I mean, the lack of yellow in his uniform is a little telling. Though.
Yeah, it is. Also, just the fact that he plays for Nebraska, which a ton of Nebraska fans are Chiefs fans. The red and white like bleed over. It's a bit on the funky side.
Where was he committed to? Was it USC?
He was committed to Ohio State. He was committed to Georgia. He played for 4 different high schools, and then he ends up.
He committed to Georgia, moved to a Georgia high school that's like Georgia JV team, and then decommits and leaves that high school.
His brother still plays there, though. He didn't. He didn't leave that high school. He's played for Buford.
Oh, he finished the year there?
Yeah, he finished the year there, but then he decommitted from Georgia and went to Nebraska.
So is he gonna be like Spencer Rattler? Is that where he's headed?
No, he looks good.
He's better.
He honestly does look pretty good. I mean,
he's pretty dang good.
He's got a great offensive head coach in Matt Rule to help him out.
I think it's honestly a smart move to go play for Matt Rule, especially because Nebraska it was nobody. Then you get Matt Rule in there, who by all accounts stunk in the NFL, but is really good in college. Has been good in college. Has won everywhere he's been. He loves offense.
Big Ten.
Well, think about it. Like, he wasn't going to be a starter this year if he goes to Georgia.
He probably wasn't going to be a starter next year if he went to Georgia.
Probably wasn't going to be a starter next year. So go to Nebraska. You have Matt Rule. You get coached up. Matt Rule's an offensive genius.
I was going to say, I've got grade this hot take. Is it too hot, not hot enough, or just right? Matt Rule is the Kevin O'Connell of college football. He's really not a good head coach. However, he's a great developer of quarterbacks.
Which is why I'm not saying he's going to win a national title in college, but he's going to win something because that's about all that matters in college football.
Correct. Like Kevin O'Connell is never going to win the Super Bowl because he is just a play caller. He just sits there and looks at his play sheet and lets the defense and special teams do whatever. However, Kevin O'Connell makes great quarterbacks in the NFL out of average players.
Yeah, Sam.
Look at Sam Darnold on Sunday. I mean, there's no reason why Sam Darnold, the man who sees ghosts, decides to just – I mean, they were playing the Giants, and they kind of are terrible. So we'll see.
Well, after
but
7 years, you think the game would slow down a bit.
If Sam Darnold becomes a valuable quarterback in the NFL, like that just proves like Kevin O'Connell's very good at developing quarterbacks. Now the question is, can he coach a team? But I think Matt Rule is very similar. So I think Matt Rule, maybe against the bigger teams like the Ohio States, like that's going to come back to bite him in the butt.
Yeah, they'll struggle probably.
But he'll always have a good quarterback.
Here's what will happen. This is typical college football. We're going to hype that game. Do they even play in the regular season? Do we know that? So we're going to hype that game up to be humongous. Ohio State will win by 30, 40.
I mean, we just don't know if Nebraska will actually stay good by then. Like Nebraska plays Northern Iowa. Well, Nebraska should be undefeated. They've got Northern Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana.
So the only team in there that might have a pulse would be Illinois.
Yeah.
Are we I know we aren't. We haven't done this, but is the media ever going to jump off Colorado and Deion Sanders?
No, that's a media darling right there.
I feel like I saw some criticism of Mr. Sanders,
Coach
Prime, if you will, this weekend.
After Shador acted the way he did.
I was going to say, all right, that was on the script for later, but we might as well jump in now.
Dude.
Shador is like locker room cancer.
Yeah, he's
not just locker room. He's on the field cancer. He's locker room cancer. He's a team cancer. He's so bad.
But the crazy part is what he said isn't necessarily not true.
It's not true. It
doesn't matter. You don't say it.
You don't say it.
And you think Deion, like at this point, like Shador's been like groomed since he was, in 7th grade. At this point, Deion should have said, dude, you can't say that stuff.
I don't believe a word Deion says when he says, I'm not dad on the field. I'm coach. Yeah. I treat him like everybody else. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I think
you do not hold your sons to the same standard as you hold other players.
And Travis Hunter, who's the third son.
And the third son, yeah. Well, I guess he does have multiple sons, but 2 are on the team. But like Shiloh's not that good.
Well, he's hurt now.
He's aggressive, but he's not that. Yeah, I know. But he throws late hit after late hit after late hit.
He is dirty.
And you watch Deion and he just kind of goes, but then your left tackle gets a hold and you're in his face and you're getting him out and you're talking to him. Shiloh doesn't get talked to.
No.
Shador doesn't get talked to.
Also,
Shador can do whatever the hell he wants. He's over here throwing helmets. He's over here acting a fool. He's over here punching a guy last year at Colorado State.
I don't care what Shador says. That pick 6 on the goal line was not the offensive line's fault.
No,
he had a nice clean pocket. He just threw it right to the other team.
He threw the ball straight to him.
Yeah, he's not.
They'll both get drafted. I mean,
they better not. I mean, any team Shador for sure is getting GMs fired right away.
Yeah, I think actually if he would shut up, he'd probably be a first-round pick. But because he won't shut up, he will not be a first-round pick.
No, he shouldn't be a 7th-round pick.
Oh,
He's not good.
I agree. But I think people like the way he plays.
I think if you're a Panthers and in the 4th round, well, not the Panthers because Panthers
are taking Quinn Ewers number 1.
If you're a middle of the road team and it gets to the 4th round or something, and you've got Sam Darnold, I would take him because you're gonna get excitement about it. And what's the worst that's gonna happen? It blows up and it's a 4th rounder. Okay,
I'll bring him in as an undrafted free agent, not waste a draft pick on him.
And you can't have your backup like if you're a wide receiver and you're acting like that, that's one thing. If you're a quarterback acting like that, that's not good.
Yeah,
backup quarterback doing that.
Someone will draft him because his last name is Sanders, and they're going to look at how athletic he is, and they're going to be like, "All right, here you go. We think some GM or some coach is going to lose their job because they think that they can improve this guy, and it's just not going to happen."
Put some weight on him and put him in the slot and let him go.
He's not that.
He's not that athletic.
No. He's a poor man, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing.
As we saw on Sunday.
Jerry, he'll be a Cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry loves the generational thing. He wants the jersey sales. He'll be a Cowboy.
Jerry wanted Johnny. I mean, let's be honest. Jerry wanted Johnny.
We may need Jerry to die before that draft comes up.
Hey, he said 4 years.
He ain't staying there. Deion's gone too. I think Deion's gone too.
No, he made his comment about Dak's contract that he won't live to see Dak outlive.
It's a lifetime deal or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, I'll be dead.
I honestly think Deion, he set this up perfectly for himself. He's going to get his son drafted. He's going to get his second son, Travis Hunter, drafted. Travis Hunter's
a first-round pick.
Yeah, put that.
He's a first-round pick.
That dude should win the Heisman.
He can't play both ways though in professional football. He's got to pick. He's got to pick one.
Deion's going to get both them drafted, and I think Deion is out. He doesn't. Apparently, this is what I heard on some podcast I was listening to today. Apparently, he doesn't recruit. He's not traveling to schools to recruit actively. He will recruit if you come to him.
No, he ain't.
Otherwise, he's not doing any of that. So he's not setting this program up to succeed. I mean, he's just there for fun at this point.
He's there just because he wanted to coach his kid
and get him drafted, and he's successfully doing
then we'll see him on Sunday NFL Countdown or something like that.
I agree. That's exactly what I thought too. He's going to be a talk show guy.
Yep.
All right, we'll put a buffer team in between, but let's talk about Texas next. Okay, the second horse in our 3-horse race definitely has a legitimate shot at the title. They're kind of similar to Ohio State, though. We're not going to know if they're good until they play Georgia because they don't really play anyone good either. This week they get UTSA. Next week they get Louisiana Monroe, and then they get Mississippi State. Woohoo!
I will say this. It's not even Texas's fault. They tried to schedule a good team, and that team just happens to suck.
That team just basically got, the NCAA just tore them apart, so...
But do we play 3 cupcake games? Because they had started the year off with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone in the SEC plays 3.
We played last week. We played Bowling Green in next week after Florida. And then
I don't want to play Bowling Green.
Yeah.
I don't want to play Bowling Green.
I thought it was just Bowling Green and McNeese. I always thought we always just did 2 cupcake. Everyone did 2 cupcakes.
No, A&M actually normally does 4 cupcakes this year.
I was going to say, the SEC is usually the conference that gets picked on the most because they do 4 cupcake games, but now they're down to 3 because of the new scheduling.
Unless you're Mississippi State now, because every game's a hard game for you.
That's true.
But Texas, I walked away from that game watching it being like, Texas is good, no doubt.
They're good.
But
no, they're great. No, they're not good. They are a great football team.
They're the second best team in football.
I agree. But I also walked away from that game being like, Michigan is exceptionally bad.
Michigan is awful.
They could put Iowa jerseys on, and you wouldn't be able to tell the 2 teams apart.
We talked about it last week during the gambling thing. I wanted to take Texas minus 17 because I was like, there's not and one of the people I like to follow on the internet, once Texas got to 14, they just said ball game.
It was over.
Michigan's never going to score 14 points.
No, they can't.
Terrible. Their offense is terrible.
It's just, how do you not have a quarterback at Michigan? How do you not have a quarterback? It's the same thing. How does Texas A&M not have a guy?
Somebody. Sharon Moore, I think Sharon Moore got handed that job.
No, he's the patsy.
Yeah, and he's not a good coach. He won some games when Harbaugh was out, but that's because that was Harbaugh's team. Sharon Moore's not a good coach.
Well, I was going to say, and it kind of goes to since we're talking about Texas kind of adjacent, if you think Texas basketball, he's just Rodney Terry.
Yeah, it's the same
He
exact thing.
got handed a really good coach's team. That coach left somewhat in disgrace, and he's just left to pick up the pieces, but he can't do it because he's not that good of a coach. But he'll win some games because the roster has still got some talent, but
I don't think they'll. I think they might lose 7 games.
No. I mean, they won't lose 7, but they'll be bowl eligible.
They're gonna have a rough go.
They're not going to be ranked, but they'll be bowl eligible.
Score. They cannot score, and I think Texas's defense is probably good, but Michigan can't score.
I think Texas's defense is elite. I honestly think that their defense is better than the offense.
I have to see them play an actual offense.
Yeah, that is true.
And we won't see that till they play Georgia. Which that's
I don't know. I haven't watched enough Oklahoma to know if they've got somewhat talent, but no matter what, playing Oklahoma, even if Oklahoma or Texas is terrible, that game is always going to be one where anything can happen.
Is that before Mississippi State or after?
No, it's before Georgia.
Oh, it's the week before Georgia.
Yeah, they got OU and Georgia back-to-back weeks. And then after Georgia, they have this incredibly tough schedule of Vanderbilt, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky.
Arkansas, it might be okay, though.
Michigan will probably lose 6 games.
Arkansas is a one-dimensional offense that is not good. They'll
also lose 6 games.
Oklahoma State is not a good football program, and Arkansas blew it.
Yeah, they gave themselves a chance, and then they decided not to.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if Texas doesn't win 11 games, they should be disappointed.
So should we all declare Texas in since we declared Notre Dame in, and then they immediately lost to whatever?
Shoot, Notre Dame still might be in. I mean,
that's okay. So that's
you can't lose to Northern Illinois and then whatever.
I bet you if they go undefeated, Notre Dame's in the playoff from here on out. If they win all their games, they're in the playoff because they're playing Ohio State, aren't they?
They do not play Ohio State.
USC.
Oregon
play USC.
Do they play Oregon as well?
And Florida State, which Florida State's trash.
Florida State is trash.
So they play USC.
I feel kind of bad for Notre Dame too. They scheduled that Florida State game going, this is gonna really boost our look, and wow.
The fact that Notre Dame is still ranked is atrocious.
They played Nebraska too. Oh nope. I looked.
They play Louisville.
Looked at that wrong.
I was gonna say they still should beat Nebraska though. I mean, realistically.
I don't know, man. Nebraska's a good program.
Good.
Nebraska's a good program.
But it's really a bunch of young guys.
How in the world did A&M lose to Notre Dame?
That's a classic. So this is what happens. This is what A&M does, right?
Yes,
we're going to lose to Notre Dame, and we'll probably lose one other game. I mean, we will lose one other game for sure.
We're going to lose to Bama.
It's going to eliminate us from the playoff, and we're going to look back and be like, that was the worst Notre Dame team that's ever been on.
Oh, this is the year you can almost buy your ticket now. Texas A&M money line against Texas. We lose to the worst Notre Dame team ever. We'll probably get beat by Alabama by 40, and then somehow we end up beating Texas. And
then we'll end up ranked like number 13.
Yeah, it's just like how does this happen?
Success.
I would call that a successful season. I don't care. That's a successful season right there.
I would too, but it would hurt. It would hurt.
I would be really mad the whole time, but I'd be like, successful season. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about Texas, except for when they're playing all these cupcake teams, I think Texas is the perfect team as a favorite because when Arch Manning comes in, they're going to still score points. Like, it's one of these rare things where you're like, wow, their backup is also really good. So they're going to continue to score. So, like, these, 34-point spreads, it honestly might be worth it to still bet them.
Well, it's like Alabama when, they would have Jalen and then Tua come in, and Tua's still going to score 3 touchdowns. Once you get a factory going, it's kind of hard to stop for a little bit in college.
I mean, it's going to be really hard to shut off the pipeline that is the Texas Longhorns with the money and NIL and the transfer portal. Like, you've seen in what's it been, 3 years since it's become ridiculous and unstable. Like, you see just all the rich programs have just all of a sudden shot to the top.
What'd he say?
We're gonna go live to our debate correspondent. And here is Jonathan Eisner. All right.
They're arguing about the border.
Oh.
And he said she kept bringing up Charlottesville and calling him a racist and this and that. And he goes, I will leave this stage right now. We can walk into the Oval Office. You can go wake up the President of the United States from out of bed since he's been there since 4 o'clock this afternoon. And we can sign a bill and we can get the border closed right now because you haven't done it for the past 3.5 years. And her face was like, just nodding off. He said we could go wake him up. He's been in bed since 4 o'clock this afternoon.
I do have an issue with these debates. It's not the same without an audience present. You got to have an audience.
Oh, is there no audience?
No audience.
No. Oh,
they don't want an audience. You can't have an audience when Trump. He turns the crowd against you so quick.
Exactly. It's fun. It gives it entertainment.
No, I know. But if I was going up against him, there's no way I'm doing a debate with him if he has an audience. You just get booed. Joe Biden in 2020 got
wanted to walk out there with notes.
And right.
She wanted to walk out there with notes, and it's like
this
you're telling me the leader of the free world needs notes.
Yeah.
This adds to my issue. If you ain't got
if
the
you're like
balls,
stats and stuff, like it's hard to memorize all the stats.
If you ain't got the cojones to have a crowd while you're doing a debate, I do not want you as my president of the United States.
So the Georgia Bulldogs are look at that flawless transition, everyone.
Good
that
job.
was a good, hey, there's a good 2 minutes on debates and things. And there we go.
Michigan is like the Kamala Harris.
Keep you guys updated.
Golly, Shane,
Georgia's
it's
like the
freaking
Donald
Kamala.
Trump.
Just practice it. Like
What, they had no defensive line or what?
Yeah.
Conrad Kamala.
Say the word comma and then add a la at the end.
How am I
that
saying
easy.
it?
I prefer to call her Mamala.
All right. No. done.
Conrad Kamala.
Okay, so Georgia Bulldogs, really freaking good football team.
Yes,
Like, I don't really know what to add. Their defense,
Tech had no chance.
their defense might kill someone.
That's why I still have a hard time saying, like, Texas is good, Ohio State's good. I still think Georgia is.
Yeah.
They have most dudes.
I don't
Georgia
know what
has
his name
most
is.
dudes.
That defensive end, number 13 or whatever, I have no idea what his name is. But the 2 plays that I have watched Georgia, he just has obliterated whoever he was on the other side. And I just feel bad for these giant offensive linemen that he makes look like children.
The wild card will always be the Clark County Police. Will they arrest every player on their defense or not? That's the question.
That is true. Also, Carson Beck will always be a wild card for me.
Agreed, but I don't think he has to do a whole lot, so it doesn't.
But I mean, it's just those 2 big games that they play per year. Will he show up? Is the question.
I was actually just about to say I might have to backtrack a couple of things. I said I think he's gonna stink. I don't think he's gonna stink. But he might be better than I really kind of thought. And I don't know if it's just he looks goofy and maybe that's what gets me.
He does look like he has something going on.
He looks like that dude from one of them cartoons with the big old head and the forehead. Oh, what's that? I seen a thing of it.
He really looks like the little guy from Little People Big World.
Oh, yeah, but just tall, normal size.
Yeah.
That game in Austin, Texas is going to be insane.
The city of Austin might explode that weekend because I believe that's Formula One weekend as well.
I believe so. I mean, that's definitely the game of the year. Then they might play each other again in the SEC championship game.
So they might play 3 times.
They might play 3 times.
But if that game gets out of hand, it's not going to be fun.
Also, I'm sorry. This is also one of my hot takes of hot takes. So, scenario, Georgia beats Texas in Austin in October. Play each other again, neutral site, SEC championship game. Then they play each other again, neutral site, national championship game. Let's say Georgia wins the first 2. I don't think you should have to play the national championship game. I already beat you twice.
I would tend to
You
agree
beat
with
me
that.
once and you get to be the national champion? That's stupid. I beat you on your home field and neutral site. You should, or if Texas wins the first national
You gotta play
championship,
again.
they should play a second game a week later for the actual championship.
I think we're going to have to change the SEC championship game. I don't think there should be an SEC championship game. I think we need to change it to where we almost know the playoff teams, and there's going to be a Big Ten There's going to be two Big Ten teams in the race and two SEC teams in the race. Those two teams play for the last playoff spot.
Yeah, something like
That's actually not a bad idea.
It's something.
The championship is worthless at this point.
Yeah, it's something that my sister's softball tournaments way back when, like whenever you like in their tournaments, there was a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
whoever got out of the winner's bracket was undefeated. And if the loser's bracket, the loser's bracket person would have to beat them twice because it's double elimination. And I just think it would be really dumb either way. If Texas wins the first two and then Georgia wins the national championship or vice versa, like that would just be dumb. Like I beat you twice, you beat me once, but you get to be the national champion. They would actually have a worse record.
Yeah.
Like the national champion would have a worse record than the person who lost the national championship and they played each other 3 times. It's just dumb. They have a real problem in my book if that happens.
And there's a real possibility of it too.
Yeah, it's not like it hadn't happened. Alabama and Georgia played SEC titles and also played in the playoffs.
Yeah, but usually they didn't play each other in the season at the same time.
I believe though that year that Georgia won the SEC title, Alabama won the national title.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of like you got to win the right game as a.
That's different because it's 1-1, so I'll take it. But
if it happens 3 times, I just think we have to eliminate the SEC championship game and just make it like winner take all. You're going like the 4th and 5th team in the SEC are playing. Winner take all. You're going to the playoff if you win this game.
Yeah, I like that better. It's the classic saying. It's hard to beat a team twice in a year. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times.
3 times,
in the same season. It's the same thing with like I hate in the NFL when you have to play a team within your division in the playoffs. Like it's just tough go. But we'll see how it plays out. They might. I mean, Georgia has a tougher schedule than Texas does for sure. So they might have to.
Got to play Alabama too.
Yeah, so Georgia might.
Tennessee. Georgia actually has a tough schedule.
Yeah, Georgia. That only applies if Georgia is going into the SEC championship game undefeated. Like if Georgia loses to Alabama or Tennessee, then all bets are off. Or if Texas loses to Oklahoma or A&M, then I have less feelings about it.
Comrade Kamala just said it. She just might have tanked her presidency before it got started just now.
Uh-oh.
She said that Palestine's got just as many rights as the Israelis.
Stupid.
Let's talk about them good old Ags.
All right,
but we just did 32 minutes on it. Those are the 3 teams. So if you are one of those people who likes to bet futures, pick one of them to win the national championship. Actually, let's look at the odds. I'm curious before we move on to them good old Ags. What are the odds for the national championship? All of them you get pretty decent plus money on. Georgia's plus 270, Ohio State plus 350, Texas plus 550. That actually might not be a bad bet for Texas at plus 550.
Could throw 10 on each of the, or like throw $100 on each of those. You make money, assuming one of them 3 wins.
And then, after that is Alabama, Oregon, and Ole Miss. Like, I don't think either of those 3 teams can win.
Alabama's always the wild card to me. I know they don't have Nick Saban now, but they're always the wild card because they just have dudes everywhere. They look bad this week.
Did you guys see the video of when Nick and Miss Terry walked into Nick Saban Field? This dude was videotaping. He had his daughter with him. He was like 4 rows back, and in the back, he made a caption. It said, "The only time I've been disappointed in my parenting." This little girl said, "They're all cheering for Nick Saban." This little girl said, "Daddy, who is that?"
Oh, no. That's funny.
Yeah, the caption literally said, "My biggest failure as a parent."
All right, I'm going to continue with my the theme of my episode. I think this week is just I'm going to say all my hot takes. I mean, I don't actually remember what the final score for the A&M game was. We scored over 50 points.
52 to 10.
Yeah,
52
Get it, Austin, got over 40.
We scored. We did, but we didn't do it in the way that I want. I love our running backs. I'm still out on Connor Wigman.
I
I'm
mean,
done.
Connor Wigman went from the worst PFF to the best PFF in a week.
Okay, if we know anything about this podcast, we do nothing but dog PFF.
PFF
Best,
is the
highest
worst.
rated quarterback in the nation.
I'm Austin. I'm with you. I'm still
Good
out
for
on
him.
Wigman.
If his first read isn't wide open, he just gets the happy feet. He gets sacked, or he tries to take off running. He cannot read a progression to save his life.
The one thing that bugged me was, why are we pulling him out?
Yeah.
Like, he had a bad game. Let him get in the groove. Let him keep going. Let him play. Let him play more reps at live pace.
Do you want a true analysis on why I think we pull him? Because I think that Colin Klein and Mike Elko, even watching him play, McNeese thought, wow, he might be ruined. And let's be honest, I'm not dogging him. There's a lot of quarterbacks that get hurt and then are damaged goods. It happens all the time.
Yeah, the Saints quarterback is damaged goods. He got hurt in the playoff game against Houston and hasn't won a playoff game.
But you could have pulled him at halftime.
Yeah, you could have pulled him at halftime.
There was like 6 minutes left in the second quarter still.
No, what's his name only did one drive.
I was shocked when he didn't go back in the game. I was shocked.
Yeah, I thought he got hurt. I thought he got hurt. I walked over to the fridge to get a beer, and I come back over, and Connor Wigman is out in the game. I was like, holy shit, did he get hurt?
It was only
maybe he did feel a little something. I don't know.
And they just say nothing.
I would have preferred to see it done at
I don't think that's it, though.
I truly think Colin Klein and Elko were like, we have to see what we got because this could go south.
Through 2 games, my guy has 225 passing yards.
Yeah, that's
not good. That's real bad.
I think they liked the first
he did score
quarter in the first half of the second quarter, and I think they probably looked at it and said, "Let's see what Henderson can do."
No, it wasn't.
Just in case.
Yeah,
it wasn't even Henderson.
It was Reed.
Reed.
Oh,
yeah,
Reed.
Reed.
So much of the offense though in that first quarter.
My bad.
So,
they all look alike.
I'm just saying, so much of the offense in that first quarter was just running the ball. So like, I was just like, which you know what that. I like that against your McNeese States. Let's just let the big boys feed, let them go, let them bully the line, and let's establish our run game. That's fine.
I didn't hate either, apart from last week, our struggle was Connor Wigman. But in the past, our struggle's been the O-line, so it's like, give him some confidence.
Correct. Give him some confidence. Let's go from there.
The wide receivers looked better this week.
Wide receivers looked better, hopefully, than they did against Notre Dame.
We're still waiting on our guy, Jabre. What is it, Jabre Barber or whatever?
But I truly believe against McNeese, also, you let the running game get going, give them some confidence, but you also got to gain some confidence through the air in that game, too. And I don't feel
he went 11 of 14 for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, I think he got confidence.
It's just that he only had to look at his first read.
Yeah, everything was open.
The times that he decided to take off running, or those 3 incompletions, was when the first read wasn't there and he couldn't make his way to the second read.
I think the good thing that comes out of this is Le'Veon Moss
is a monster.
And his confidence probably just because like he's backup running back, a couple weeks before the season. Hey, by the way, you're the starter. Okay. And then he goes out, he plays well in the first quarter against Notre Dame. He's moving the ball a little bit better than expected. And then the second half, just the offense couldn't do anything at all whatsoever. But he comes out against McNeese, lesser opponent. Hey, I need you to bully these guys. He goes out and does that. And you could see the swagger building in him. And I'm excited for the running backs. I losing Evan Stewart hurts so much worse now than when he actually left.
Yeah, especially because Ruben Owens went out too.
Yeah, because you just kind of sit there and you're like, man, like you don't have that guy. You don't have the dog to go and be like, I'm throwing it. Like you have to catch this ball. Like no one stepped up like that.
Give the rock to Kendall Bussey too, please.
Yeah, I liked when they put him in and he just took off for 60 yards. That's great.
Why are we not playing him? What?
I think it's just a true freshman situation. You just don't know what you got.
Yeah,
I think they're going to end up.
Yeah, but you're playing McNeese, so put him out there. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, I think now maybe they'll have more confidence.
I think you'll see him.
I don't think you'll see him this week.
Jonathan,
in the swamp, you won't see true freshmen for sure if you don't have to.
I hope we see him. Jonathan, I hope your unwavering confidence in Connor Wegman pulls through. But if we have another against Florida, who I do not think is a good football team, if we have another Notre Dame situation, it is time to panic.
Well, I think
even if we win the game,
the good thing is, Shane, is Florida's not a great football team. We're not a great football team. And my thing with Connor is he's never played that bad before in any level of sports.
Do we not recruit a quarterback, by the way?
We're terrible at recruiting quarterbacks.
There's so many quarterbacks out there.
Or we're terrible at developing quarterbacks once they get on campus.
I think it's development.
It's one of the two.
It's a developmental issue.
We didn't even get a guy in the last signing class.
I mean, he's going to have to perform this weekend because
he has to perform this weekend.
Florida's going to score points on
We're going to find out
defense.
Real quick.
Florida's going to score points on this defense, even though our defense is good. Like, he's going to have to get to 30 points probably to win this football game.
With the quarterback that we wanted.
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, DJ Lagway will score points on our defense for sure.
Let me ask you all this because of last week. We'll backtrack a little bit. If it's only game 3, but if at halftime it's not looking good, is it time to pull? Can you pull Connor and
no?
Be fine?
Reed can't throw a football.
Look, he's never had.
Maybe you pull
funny.
him.
I'm hypothetical. If he looks bad halfway through this game,
you can't pull him.
Unless your plan is we're running the Wildcat, you can't pull him.
You can't pull him.
I don't think Marcel Reed. I think Marcel Reed can throw the ball a little bit.
The reason it worked last year and when he got hurt was Max Johnson already had starting experience at LSU, who also, Max is also the guy that beat us the year before. So, the issue is now you have a unproven quarterback that's been hurt as a starter with a freshman behind him, and then
no, we don't have a freshman.
That's
my whole complaint. Where is there a freshman, please?
Reed's a
sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
True sophomore.
At least.
I thought Reed was a redshirt freshman last year. He never played.
Played in several games last year.
I thought Henderson played last year.
No, they both played.
He definitely played in the bowl game, but that doesn't count, so I don't know.
No, it was just the bowl game he played.
He might be a redshirt freshman.
But still, that's not a
redshirt freshman.
Marcel Reed is classified as a freshman.
Yeah.
And then
I thought he
our
was
other freshman quarterbacks on the roster are Miles O'Neill.
Oh, he's from like New Jersey or something.
Dylan Mayers.
Never heard of him.
From Boca Raton, Florida.
Where did Henderson go?
He's still playing there.
Paxton Land. Oh, he's from Austin. What high school did he go to? I don't know. And Peyton Gay. Henderson is there. He's just registered as a junior. I was just saying the freshman.
Gotcha.
None of those freshmen have a picture on ESPN, so I'm going to assume that they are not good.
I think Miles O'Neill was like maybe a 3-star.
I think it's good to know that we have like seven.
I really didn't know that on a college football roster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 9 quarterbacks on the Texas A&M roster.
Well, that's good. 2 years ago, when we had all those injuries, we put in a freaking walk-on freshman that, we ran out of quarterbacks.
That's what these guys might be. The walk-ons might be
Those are all walk-ons.
The third string.
Was the only scholarship quarterback on that list.
I don't know. Blake Boast has a picture.
Oh, Blake Boast.
Yeah, but Blake Boast was the walk-on that
Yes.
played against Alabama.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Jalen
He
Henderson's
looked
got a
pretty
picture
good too.
but
He did actually look semi-decent.
No.
he's a senior, so this is your last chance to see Blake Boast.
Hey,
Unless he's
man.
going to do his COVID.
Austin, let's hope we don't see Blake Boast.
Yeah, let's not see Blake Boast.
Maybe
I
maybe
wish
if we
he
get up a
was.
lot. Maybe if we get up like 70 points against Bowling Green, then which is not going to happen. Bowling Green's a tough program.
But Blake Boast is going to be an amazing real estate agent in the College Station area one day. It's going to be
Good for him.
awesome. I'm
Him and Ryan
looking forward to it.
I don't know.
One day I'm in the significant spot where I can buy a ranch from Blake Boast.
This is the week. This is the week where A&M season starts or ends. Or ends. If you lose to Florida, season's over.
It could end on Saturday.
The worst part about this past week is I was actually excited to watch the game because I was like, okay, we're going to see something from Connor. I walked away from there being like, yeah, we didn't want to be there. They didn't want to be there. We were just there because we had to be there.
You're going to definitely see something good or something bad from Connor.
Yep.
And I will say this. I hope that if by some miracle Connor plays great, this is not one of those games where the defense just craps the bed. Like, we got to have a game where both sides of the football are good. Because this whole wishy-washy back and forth where the defense is supposed to be great, and then the 1 week our offense is great, the defense decides to suck, like, it's just been too much of a pattern from the years past, and we can't have it.
Agreed. But we'll learn a lot.
But that's the Aggie way. Is it too much to ask for to just put one game, put two sides of the ball together?
I can remember very few games where that has ever happened.
That is true. I'm excited, though. We'll see how it goes. 2:30 at the Swamp.
Look, it's a must-win. I mean,
It's a must-win.
Is it? I mean, for Billy Napier, it's a must-win. He's gone if he loses.
it's a must-win for us.
I mean, Mike Elko's going to be in some hot water if he doesn't win, too.
I don't agree with that. I think it's a must-win for this season, yes. But in the grand scheme of things, are we going to look back on the 2024 Florida game and be like, well, that was the program-defining win right there?
No, but it could be the one where
it could be a program-defining loss.
No, it won't be that. It could be Elko's seat starts to get warm. Like, if you're a new coach coming in, you need to win early so that those doubts don't exist.
I mean, Sark went 5-7 his first year. To be fair,
and he almost got fired.
I think for a first-year head coach, like college football has a problem right now where we expect the coach to walk in and win immediately.
No, I'm not saying that they need to be great, but if you lose this game, we're just going to assume we're going to lose all the big games. We're going to lose to Missouri.
Oh, I agree.
We're going to lose to Texas.
Your trajectory goes way down after.
So, like, you don't want your first season to be you didn't make it to a bowl game.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
Because then next season, Mike Elko is on the hot seat if you don't make it to a bowl game.
I also think, and this might be a hot take, I don't know. Sark, his first year, Texas was in a way worse place as a program than Mike Elko taking over the A&M program.
I mean, people were begging to fire Steve Sarkisian in Austin.
No, but I'm just saying, like, Sark.
I'm saying Sark held on by a thread. They were dying to get rid of him.
Yeah,
and he held on by a thread, and it happened to work out. But most of the times, when you have a bad first season, that coach doesn't all of a sudden make you a national championship contender the next season. Most of the time, it also still sucks, and then you get fired, and you wasted 2 years of your program.
But Texas was in such a bad place as a program. What did they care if they wasted 2 years? It was a dumpster fire. I mean, and that's not even just being a Texas hater. Like, it was a dumpster fire. Let's be honest. We're not at dumpster fire yet. If this Elko experiment fails, we're at a dumpster fire stage.
If we go 5-7 this year, we are at dumpster fire state. If we do not make a bowl game, that's dumpster fire.
I'm saying sustained dumpster fire. Texas was a sustained dumpster fire for 10 years.
Oh, that's not true. They only had a couple bad years in that 10 years.
Well, they beat Georgia that one year, and they were back.
Well, I'm just saying, but I mean, that year, you can't say that they were a dumpster fire. They made the Sugar Bowl.
No, they weren't that.
They had 2 bad years that they didn't qualify for a bowl game, and all the rest of the years they went like 9-3 or 8-4, which is not great, but that's not dumpster fire because that's where A&M was for all that time. We love going 8-4. We're amazing at it.
We are good at that. I don't know. I just hope Connor can put it together.
We're gonna find out on Saturday at 2:30.
He's gonna play good, fellas.
He's gonna play great. It's gonna be a good day.
We're gonna beat Florida by 21.
Don't say
That's
that.
a lot. That's a lot of points.
14.
I hope we beat Florida by 21. That is best case scenario.
I believe we're like 4-point favorites.
It's up
4.5.
up to 4.5 now.
Okay, 4.5-point favorites on the road in the swamp.
And the fact that we're favorites on the road in the swamp is a good.
We haven't won an away game in 3 years, fellas.
I don't know if that's a good thing for us, Jonathan, or just a absolute glaring what is the word I'm looking for on Florida.
It just means that that more people bet on Texas A&M.
All the big money's on A&M. That's all.
Yeah. I will say this:
which means Florida really sucks.
We say a lot on this program that good teams win and great teams cover. We are just asking A&M to be a good team this week. A 1-point victory after not winning on the road for 3 years, we will take it. We will take a 1-point victory.
I will take not feeling sick for 1 weekend of my life.
A win is a win is a win, and we will take. It could be the ugliest win if we just have to give our running backs the ball on every play to win the ball game. I'll take it. If we win without Connor Wigman throwing a pass, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm good with that too.
Look,
if
we lose to Florida, I will personally go dig up every reveille and rebury them facing the opposite direction, so they don't have to watch an atrocious football team ever again in their lives, in their eternity.
If we got to do a Tennessee Titans head coach and punt on every first down so that we can guarantee that we can win, that's fine too.
Fine.
All right, let's talk about the other good teams very, very briefly. Out of these teams, give me the 3 that are most likely to make the playoff at the end of the year. Tennessee.
Yep.
C.
Miami. Nebraska. Missouri, Ole Miss, Bama. If you had to pick 3 of those teams, which ones actually make the playoffs?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss,
Tennessee, and I'll say Miami because they play in the ACC. And
Miami.
Wow, Blake left Bama out.
I'm taking Ole Miss, Bama, and Tennessee.
Bama is still a little bit of a wild card to me.
Blake, I have to. I picked Bama and Tennessee in the SEC championship. I am required to choose those 2 teams to make it.
The other wild card there is the SEC might get 5 teams. I mean, they have the SEC right now is what, 7 of the top 8?
I have it right here.
6 of the top 7.
Oh, that was the wrong button. I clicked the wrong button. This one. I clicked the wrong button again. Man, I am struggling.
The only team that's not the SEC is Ohio State, I believe.
They have 6 of the top 7, and then Penn State is 8.
So you're going to assume conservatively the SEC gets 5.
9 of the top 10 teams are currently either in the SEC or Big Ten.
So we have Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Ole Miss. Probably Alabama's in there as long as they only lose twice. I mean, there's going to be a lot of SEC teams in there, folks.
Does Missouri have a tough schedule?
No, but they do have to play. I believe. No, they don't play Georgia, I don't think.
They just play Bama and Oklahoma. I mean, Missouri's probably going to be in.
I still think Mizzou's going to lose a couple games.
That's fair, but I mean, if they lose to Bama but beat Oklahoma, and then they win the rest of their games, maybe they lose to us. I don't know. I mean, is that a good enough record to get in?
Yeah, you're. I
With a
don't.
good quarterback.
It's weird. It's weird because this year is so different. It's hard to even project it.
Yeah, it is. And I can't wait. Y'all, if you're still tuning into this about an hour into the podcast, y'all have no idea how great the episodes are at the end of the year when we debate which teams make the playoffs. And this year is going to be insane. With 12 teams, they're going to be projecting some nonsense team like a Marshall that should rightfully be in, or some team like I don't know who's a good
Texas
Boise State, like Boise State right now.
Texas State.
Yeah, or Texas State or somebody like that they're going to be like, this team should, or Syracuse with Kyle McCord, they should be in the playoff. And it's just you're going to hear us just go off on the stupidity of that.
The problem is I look at so many teams and I look at their schedules and I'm like, there's no way they lose more than twice. They will lose more than twice.
All right, we're going to chime in with our debate correspondent real quick. Jonathan, what do you have for us?
All right, we're on race in America.
All right, and that was our debate correspondent with Jonathan Eisner.
And no joke, he said, Mr. Trump, you were quoted earlier this year saying that he didn't know that Kamala was black until a few months ago when she decided to turn black. And he said, the bigger picture is, why do you care what your opponent's race is? And he said, I don't care. He was like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Was there a quote about Abdul somewhere?
Oh, yeah,
he said, I sent him a picture of his house.
He said, I sent a picture of his house, and he told him to figure out why I sent it. And he said, 18 months, I never saw any comment.
Oh, okay.
He sent a picture.
That was our debate correspondent.
He sent a picture to Abdul of his house and his wife and kids. And when Abdul asked him, why did you send me these pictures? He said, I'll let you figure that one out.
Let's just put it this way. When they brought up Afghanistan, that's when I put both headphones on. I zoned out for a minute because this is
you didn't miss much.
Big issue for me. This bitch.
Whoa.
No, that's where she is. She's a bitch.
I should have hit the mute button faster. Should have saw that coming.
Oh, she's now going to be the first black president of the United States? What happened to Obama?
Are you sure you didn't miss the word?
Wait, no, she did just say that. She did just say that. Maybe she meant first black woman president of the United States.
I mean, or just woman.
For sure what she meant.
She probably fell into the Joe Biden trap and forgot her line of thought. And she just, yeah.
Or was she trying to say Native American?
No, she's Indian, remember? She's dot, not feather.
Oh, my bad.
She's
Sorry.
dot, not feather.
Okay.
Her family was 7-Elevens.
That was racial relations with Jonathan Eisner, our debate correspondent.
All right.
This week 2 of college football, honestly, is pretty terrible. There was not really too many good games, so I don't really have anything to add to the Bama, Ole Miss, Mizzou's,
really.
Miami, Tennessee, Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska versus Colorado, we already covered. Nebraska is a pretty decent program. Matt Rule is doing a good job with Mini-Mahomes over there. Coach Prime in Colorado, they suck. I hope Colorado State kicks their butt this weekend.
Hey, very good.
Colorado State, good football program.
Well,
good
52-0 to Texas, so they're not that good of a
I
program.
hope Colorado beats them by 100.
You hope they beat Colorado beats Colorado State by 100? Why?
I was hearing last week about how good of a program that we're running over there.
Yeah.
I hope they beat them by 100 too, Blake.
Now, what we got to talk about, though.
Shador, baby. Shador.
We got to talk about the 4 teams that are supposed to be good that are not good. After 2 weeks, we know they're not good. Number 1 is Notre Dame. How do you lose to NIU at home?
Respect to us. We all said that. We walked away from that game being like, they're also not good.
That made me depressed. I was very depressed. I was hoping that even though they played horribly, they would win the game so that we can just be like, all right, they can still. But no, now that they lost, I'm very sad.
Yeah, they're bad. They have no offense. Their defense is actually okay. They have no offense at all.
Why can Riley Leonard not throw a ball? What happened?
It looks terrible. Pathetic.
Yeah. And is his name Jeremiah Love? What's his first name?
Jeremiah
Love?
She's giggling.
What the heck's going on with Jeremiah Love either? He's supposed to be great.
I think their offense is it's college football is such a weird game. The NFL you can get away with it a little bit, but in college, if you can't throw the ball, you cannot run the ball either.
That's true. Unless you're playing at McNeese State.
Agree.
Also out there sucking it up, Penn State. I felt like, I mean, James Franklin, that man, I don't know what it is about him. He grinds my gears. He's just not a good coach. He's like Robert Saleh in the NFL. I'm just sitting here. How does this man still have a job? You know exactly what's going to happen. He's going to fall apart every time you play a good team.
I think Penn State has a situation on their hands where it's like, well, he didn't abuse little kids, so we'll keep him.
I mean, they got so lucky against Bowling Green. They should have lost that game.
This is why I love college football, though, because we walked away. Everyone, the national media last week, oh my gosh, Penn State's figured out their offense. They figured it out.
Not changed.
Next week, we play Bowling Green. Absolutely pathetic.
Well, and I mean, that amazing defense, too. You can't be giving up 27 points to Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
And Bowling Green, it's like a blowout.
They wanted.
Yeah.
Bowling Green was dominating that game.
Yeah, Bowling Green should have won, and it's terrible that they didn't. Good for NIU for actually holding it out against Notre Dame. Oregon, real bad.
Not look good.
It was not a one-game blip. Something is wrong with the Oregon offense.
Yeah, they're not good.
It's because their quarterback sucks. He's not a good quarterback, guys.
I'm going to make
one good game against Texas.
I want to make a petition. I think we need to wait for the AP poll until after week 2 or 3 because Oregon has so much room for error compared to other teams that weren't ranked.
Yeah.
Where they have shown a lot less than those other teams.
I mean, I guess it's just the new conferences. Every time I'm looking at a team's schedule to see who they play, they all, like, every team should just go undefeated is what it sounds like. I mean,
that's exactly what I was saying. Like, you look at the schedules, you're like, every single one of these teams is going to be in the playoff, but then somehow they're going to lose 3 games.
Somehow they're going to lose because, I mean, they shouldn't be undefeated because they're going to lose to Ohio State. But other than that, their second hardest game is Michigan.
Yeah, so they should be in 11-1.
They should be 11. I mean, playing at Oregon State, playing at your rival is a toss-up game, but they should beat Oregon State.
It's a weird year. That's why I say it's so unpredictable because you don't know what the wins are going to have to be at to get in.
Yeah, it's going to be well, it's very interesting. And then I threw Oklahoma in the mix too.
I don't think Oklahoma's good. I think they're going to lose.
I don't think Oklahoma's good.
I don't think Venables is a good coach, to be honest. I don't think if you look at the AP rankings right now, we'll come to our correspondent here in just a second. Hold on to that thought, Jonathan. If you look at the AP rankings right now, I don't think that 12 and on are good football teams. I don't think Utah is a good football team. Nope. I don't think Oklahoma State.
Utah's dead.
I don't think Kansas State. I don't think Oklahoma. I don't think LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame, Louisville, Arizona, Iowa State, Clemson. Sorry, I do think Nebraska and Boston College are good football teams.
That's exactly my point. I would say Nebraska at this point should be like probably 12, 13?
They will be soon, though.
They will. I agree, but it's annoying to look at it because it's like Oklahoma State. I mean, they beat Arkansas. Arkansas is what it is, but it's like they haven't shown nothing to anybody.
No. Also, Boise State should be on this list.
They are the second.
They're the second most on receiving votes. They went to the wire with
Coastal Carolina.
No, with Oregon.
Yeah, but the first week they played Georgia State. Who they play?
Oh, that I don't remember.
They almost lost, or they should have lost.
I don't know, man, but I can
watch it was Georgia Southern, and they ended up winning by 11, but they gave up 45 to Georgia Southern.
I could watch that guy run the football all day long, though. My dude is a monster. Gianti, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
I could watch him run the ball behind that offensive line all day long. This is a fun team to watch, except for if they're playing at home, because that blue field is atrocious.
I agree.
Was she sucking that dude off when she was a senator?
All right, hold on. Relax.
That was long before she was a senator.
Yeah, it was before. It was before she even became
Nobody knew who she
the
was.
DA.
I'm an informed voter. I just had to say.
We
that.
will say allegedly, just in case.
No,
it's not alleged.
proven.
It is. It is
okay.
proven.
Antonio Brown is currently making the most sense. He posted a headline that says, "I will fix things if you vote me into office," says woman currently in office.
Yeah.
CTESPN, the leader in politics.
Maybe Trump's going to be his white boy of the week.
Ask the candidates if it's called the 2-minute warning or the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, seriously, it's the worst, and we need consensus. It needs to be the same.
Okay, what Shane and I were laughing at though was they're talking about Obamacare and replacing it, and they're asking, does anyone have a plan to replace it? And Trump was saying, I have all my best people working on it. And he goes,
neither of them have a plan. Let's put this out there.
He doesn't have a plan. Does not have a plan. He beat around the bush and said, I have all my people working on it, and when we come up with something really good, we'll change it. And then he says, but I have really good people. And he goes, some bad people, but they have the worst people, and they don't get rid of their worst people.
Here, let's go around the room.
Fire my people.
Let's go around the room and say our insurance premiums and decide if Obamacare is a good thing.
Mine's 0.
Your premium, well, your company pays for it. What's your
No. Mine's 0.
What's your deductible?
Mine's 0.
Jonathan's about to say he doesn't have health
I
insurance.
don't have health insurance, dog.
I saw where this is coming.
Take Obamacare for that. Shane's deductible is probably what, $15,000?
I don't have health insurance, dog.
Shane doesn't even know. He just writes a check every month to the hospital.
I have no idea.
Awesome.
I know I pay. Well, wait. Is the deductible what I pay out of my paycheck?
No, your deductible is what you owe to the hospital after your wife gives you.
Oh, it's an outrageous amount.
It's probably $15,000. I bet it's $15,000.
I think it's like 80 or 90% up to like $20,000, and then it's
then you still owe 20% of whatever else probably.
Yeah, 20%.
I'm pretty sure, but I work for the government, so I might get the sweet deal. I'm pretty sure mine's only $6,000.
Oh, mine is $6,500 for myself.
I'm actually,
which is still a big number, but
my healthcare and getting on Christian Mingle or whatever it's called. What is it called?
Nope, that's not what it's called.
Nope,
that's definitely not what.
Yeah,
it's
you're
called.
married.
I'm getting on my wife's looked it up.
Are you gonna go on 7 Loaves and Fishes next?
Yeah.
What about FarmersOnly.com? Like, come on, dude.
No, I'm getting on the Christian one, whatever it's called.
I need to do that.
Plan.
Health share, yeah. It's
basically
like
you pay cash essentially.
Yeah, it's so much better than Obamacare that I'm willing to give up my insurance.
Did Dave Ramsey start that?
Huh?
No.
Dave Ramsey started that insurance company. My man loves cash more than anyone else on planet Earth.
I'm not doing anything
a church
that
started
Dave Ramsey's got going.
Oh, that's a pyramid scheme. They're a Ponzi scheme. They're stealing your money.
Oh, bro, I joined. Okay.
That's a Joel Osteen.
I'm taking my
stealing your money kind of nonsense.
I'm taking my headphones off.
Who are you paying money to?
I got something to say about Mr. Who were we just talking about?
Dave Ramsey.
I've had a whole bottle of wine.
Dave Ramsey?
And 5 beers. Dave Ramsey.
That's a lot.
All right. So Dave Ramsey, because of the whole divorce thing, I had to pay all these debts off, right? And we're like 2 hours into this thing. No one's listening. It's just us 4. We're just here, all close. So I joined their little community. You pay like $10 a month, right? You don't get shit for it. You don't get any help. They don't tell you anything. They don't give you a plan.
No, Dave Ramsey's got good ideas, but he is definitely a con artist.
Let me ask you a question about this plan. Do you use credit cards like he says not to? But then on top of that, does that $10 a month come direct deposit out of a credit card?
Right.
Use your American Express.
No, it comes from my bank account. I deleted it after 2 months. I was like, this is a waste of money.
80% interest on that $10 a month.
Yeah,
it's quite a scam when a guy tells you don't use a credit card, and then when he asks for your money, he will give you an option to use a credit card. That's automatically out.
I was watching some of his YouTube videos trying to figure it out. And at the end of every YouTube video, he's like, join now. And I was like, dude, you're no better than the freaking info commercial over here.
All right, so the NFL, the Cowboys look really good.
Well, that's actually, you're going to see that on tomorrow's episode, but we're going to wrap up this episode because we're pushing the limits of it already with talking about our sports gambling. And man, you hear us say on this podcast all the time that you are either hot or you are due. And us as a podcast, we are due because none of us are hot. I think this was our worst weekend ever as a collective. We went 2-10, which is pretty terrible. Would have lost some serious cash. Our only
Should not have commercials during debates.
Our only two winners came from Sir Jonathan Heisner, our debate correspondent, with Texas minus 7.5, which we told y'all was a lock.
That was such an easy bet.
And the classic Jonathan bet against the Baltimore Ravens bet of Kansas City minus 3. And good for him.
Almost lost that. That went down to the wire, boy.
It did come down to the wire.
Hey, if Dion caught that ball, it would have been a touchdown. He ain't got a big toe.
He's got a big toe.
Well, it's not the toe part. It's the freaking shoe. The shoe was the issue, not the actual toe.
Yeah,
and we're gonna
big toe, Austin.
I could have made
his toe gone, bro.
I could have made a custom shoe that didn't have a toe on it.
That's fair.
He cut
if
his
you
toe
want
off.
to hear all about this toe, tune in to tomorrow's episode because we're going to talk a lot about that Chiefs-Ravens game because I want to, and it's great.
I'm going to start the episode saying, he ain't got a big toe.
There you go. And then the rest of us, we lost every single bet. But this weekend, we've got some winners for you. And because we are running long, I'm just going to read all 12 of them off, and then I'm going to hit stop. Okay, so going into it, Blake this weekend looking to rebound from Blake's 0-3 week. Blake he's going all NFL, and he's got the dogs a barking. He's got the Bills plus 2.5 on Thursday night against the Miami Dolphins. Divisional game on a Thursday night. Great time to take the dog. He's got the Rams plus 1.5 against the Cardinals. Can Kyler Murray actually be the guy? I don't think so, but Cooper Kupp can. I like that bet as well. And then he's got the Falcons plus 6.5 against, I don't even know who they're playing, but that's a terrible bet.
The Eagles, Monday Night Football.
Oh, that's a horrific bet because Kirk Cousins can't even go under center. But Blake is trying to rebound. I like 2 of his 3 picks. Shane, who has currently yet to win a bet. He's 0-5-1 this season.
Hey, don't sleep. Don't
he's
sleep.
Doing the same thing he did last year. Yeah. And you know what? He's really trying to keep up that not winning a game because he picked Vandy minus 10. Although Vandy might have an NFL grade quarterback. So
dude, Vandy's quarterback. He's a dog.
He's a dog. He's got the Saints plus 6.5 against them boys. Is that game in New Orleans or in Dallas?
I think Dallas.
In Dallas? Ooh, Dallas plays good at home.
Okay. Let's go.
And then you got to just until they prove you otherwise, you got to take whoever's playing the Panthers. So he's got the Chargers minus 6.5 in Carolina, I believe. That is a West Coast to East Coast trip, so we'll see how that goes. Jonathan,
some on an alternate bet too. Raise that sucker up.
Yeah, there you go. Jonathan also joined the train of he liked Vandy with the minus 10 because
that quarterback.
He also likes the Chargers minus 6.5 because the Carolina Panthers, you can get 2 tickets to the game for $1.80.
No, I watched
plus fees.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in the next episode.
And then I think that this is actually the steal of the week, which is probably why I should have taken it, but I didn't. He got the Niners at minus 6, even though they just crushed the Jets last night, and their line only went up 0.5 point, which was very surprising. And then I've got just they're fond of in my heart because of my guy Daniel Sorensen. I got the BYU Storm and Mormons minus 10 this weekend. I also took the Jets minus 3.5, but because they looked bad against a really good football team in the Niners, their line dropped. I like them to win. And then I also am on the Rams plus 1.5 on the Cardinals because I don't think Kyler Murray is that dude. All right, that's going to do it for us this week on college football. Remember, tomorrow we will have our NFL episode coming out. It's going to be all sorts of good things. We appreciate all that y'all are doing and all the liking and subscribing we've had on the podcast recently and sharing on the socials. Appreciate it if you would keep that up. And as always, make good choices, and we'll catch y'all next time.